let's start again. Okay, we are here for, hi Peg. So this is, like I said, this is my monthly class. I'm back on it. I had to take off last month. This month, so it's going to be today and tomorrow. It's a 2-day thing. Hey Gail. Hey Linda. This month I'm doing a file folder folio. And this is the prototype that I made last fall. And this is what made me fall in love with this whole idea of using a file folder. So it flips out. We're not doing a autumn theme here. I just want to show you what we're doing. But there's pockets. And I'm going to get to that later. Share with you what I learned about these pockets. There's 2 different ways to do pockets. And one is a little bit looser, like this one on the bottom here. Whenever I want to open this up, this piece wants to fall out because of this pocket is not really tight. But we will go over that. All right, so we're actually going to be using the World of Good papers. So our class, File Folder Folio, it is a mouthful. But this class is, I'm actually got a short turnaround time. Usually when I do these, I air them on Monday and Tuesday, and then I give you about 10 days to RSVP if you want the packet. If you have your own stuff, you're good. You just have to watch the videos and do your thing. But if you want the packet, this time I have to cut this off by Friday. So RSVP and money by this Friday, the 16th. And that is because these papers and the antique corners and slides are on the clearance rack, or not clearance rack, they're on the discontinued list, sale items. So I only bought like a couple of extra packs, so I have 2 extra packs, and I'm hoping they don't run out by Friday. I mean, if it does, I can only handle the first 2 people that want it, and that's just the way it is. But I already had this planned out before the retirement list came out, and that's how it goes. Oh, and then let's do an expected mail out date. So once I get everything back, then I should have everything mailed out to you by the 28th. So our packet, $35. That includes the shipping to get it to you. What you're going to get is a full pack of the World of Good specialty papers. So originally I was only going to do a half a pack because that's really all you need to make this project. But since it's on sale, that makes it a better value. Then we're going to get a whole pack of the antique corners and slides, again, because those are on sale too. 1 yard of the early espresso ribbon, which I've got these over here. 6 of the heavyweight file folders. And I ordered these from Amazon last year. The heavyweight ones are much better for projects like this. I've seen so many projects made with file folders. You can use any file folder you want. I've done some with the colored ones that I'll buy like at Walmart. They're just a little bit more flimsy. The heavyweight ones are just sturdier. So that's what we're using. So coordinating cardstock and a PDF tutorial that I'll be making later this week. So tutorial option only, $15. Okay, so let me just show you real quick. Pack of paper. Yours will be full. That's what I'm using today. Our 6 file folders. So I'm giving you 3 of the craft looking ones, and you'll get all 3 tabs. So you'll get a side tab, other side tab, and a middle tab, because you can use these for other projects, like I said. Then you'll get the cream colored ones, and again, all 3 tabs, side, middle, side. I use these a lot, and then you can color them. Today I'm going to use the brown one just because I won't have to color it as much. Antique corner bits in a ribbon. We get this is that faux suede. I love it. And then the coordinating cardstock. You're going to get a piece each of basic black, bumblebee, cinnamon cider, crumb cake, early espresso, misty moonlight, mossy meadow, and white. And these are the colors that come directly from the paper pack. Because the way I make mine, you may not want to make yours that way. So we have choices. All right, let me get all this stuff out of my way for now. Let's get into the pattern. So I've made a pattern out of, I have a bunch of file folders that just have no tab, and I use those too. But I've made this pattern. There are a lot of people out there in the internet world that have made these file folders, folio things, and I've seen this pattern a lot of times. I don't think it's copyrighted or that it's anybody's. I've used this. I've seen it from many people. But the easiest way is that we're going to start by everything. We want to base everything off this middle fold, and a lot of people will call it the factory fold. That's, the one that came that way. I'm going to start by cutting this bottom part off. So our folder's going to open like this. I'm going to cut off, measure this part out, 4.5 inches. So 4.5 inches from the middle, and I'm going to cut this. Now I've written all over mine because this is just a pattern. You would save this piece so that you can use it for tags or stamping on or layering or die cutting or whatever. You can make a lot of cool stuff with these bits. So you want to save this. All right, then we're gonna go in, and the rest is just scoring, and it's a lot of 1/4 inch scoring. That's because we have these, our side folds and our tops and bottoms. Like, we want this, if it was flat, we wouldn't be able to put anything in it. So we have to have that 1/4 inch practically around all the sides here. Not practically, that's definitely. And the way we get that is we just do it all here. So we're going to score a 1/4 inch off this base, and then we're going to score again 4 3/4 up here, and then another 1/4 inch. So this is going to be the middle of our book. This part is going to be the flap that comes up. And then these side pieces, I didn't write that down. This is 2.5 inches here. And then this is another 1/4 inch too. All right, so same here, 2.5 inches. And I use this pattern for, I just look at it a lot. And I'll probably try to take a picture and post that, and I will definitely include a picture of this in the tutorial because it's hard to get it all on the screen here, All right, so let me put this where I can see it, and we're going to start. I am using, for this purposes, I'm going to use one with the middle tab because, when the side's folding in, this is going to work out nice. But I did not use it on my prototype, and that's okay. All right, so let's start with the cutting. So I want to cut, when we open it up, I want to cut 4.5 inches from this score line. Four and a half inches. Now I tell you, just for planning for your time, I think we're going to get through the base part of this, and then we're going to do like most of the decorating tomorrow. But we'll see how it goes. All right, so we cut that. So we've got 4.5 inches here. This part, save it. And just make a pile. I'm just going to throw it to my left. So now I'm going to get my scoring, and it's going to be a lot of scoring. But that's okay. So normally when I make a card or anything, I score and then I fold so the bump is like on the inside. So since I want all the folds, everything to come in this way, I'm actually going to score on this side. All right, let me get my scoring thing. So looking back at my chart, from this line here, this is the bottom, I want to come in 1/4 inch. And there's actually already a line there from the factory fold, but I'm just going to do it a couple more times. So 1/4 inch that way, and then from this line again, this line is at 4.5. I want to go up 4 3/4. So 4.5, 8.5, and then 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 9 1/4. All right, and then I'm going to need another 1/4 inch, so 9.5. All right, and let me just show you. So I've just made this score line, this 1/4 inch score line. Then I came up here 4 3/4, made this one, and then added another 1/4 inch. All right, and now I'll do the sides. And again, I may have to do this because this is hanging off the end of my scoreboard. So I'm going to do 2.5. And this top part is kind of hard to get through because it's like reinforced. So you just got to be careful, and maybe I should start from the bottom because then I'll be able to tell. So 2.5 from each side. 2.5, and I'm just going to go as far as I can to the bottom here without falling off. All right, now notice, I don't know if you can notice, nope, because I had my marks not in the camera. So our file folder, it's like 11.5 and like 1 more 1/8, or 1 more, yeah, that's an 1/8. 1/4, each one is an 1/8. Some people will cut this off, so it's just a flat 11.5 because it's easier to go by. I don't really care about that. So I'm going to go in still, let's just say it's 11.5, so 2.5 will be 9. And then I'll go back 1 more, that 1 more 1/8, so that this part is still 2.5. And I could use my ruler too. But you know, I think that's why a lot of people cut that little bit off, is just so it makes the math easier. All right, now we come back in, and now I can use this groove mark as my guide to get up this top part that's so heavy. I mean, that's like, it feels like 3 layers thick. All right, now we need 1 more set of 1/4 inch marks. I'm going to do it all the way up. I'm actually going to start from the bottom because I need another, I really only need the 1/4 inch mark here in the middle, because we're going to cut off all these upper corners. Okay, so I'm just going to score another 1/4 inch in, and I'm only going to go up from the bottom. And I know it's confusing with them flipping this back and forth so much. I apologize, but it's hard to get it all from the one side, especially with this top. So notice I'm only going to go up to here, and I can go over it because I'm going to cut this corner off anyway. I'm going to cut this corner off and this corner. So I've got my mark. Oops, sorry. So we're here at 9 1/8, and I want to go 1/4 inch this way. So this one is going to be 9 3/8. Okay. That feels like a lot of confusing and different numbers, and I just encourage you to go back and watch it again, and eventually it'll make sense. All right, so now I'm cutting off. So here I've got that 1/4 inch border and this 1/4 inch. I'm cutting this whole corner off, and I'm just using my scissors. And from now, I am not tapering these sides in. I will do that in just a minute. Or later. Actually, I'll do it later because I'll show you the why. Why do we do that? All right, and then I'm going to cut this corner off. And you want to save these bits too, because even if you don't use them on this project, they make good additions for other projects. All right, and then this corner. hard to see the glare from my light on this file folder. It just makes it seem a little shiny. Okay, one more. Now do you see how it's kind of coming together? We're getting what we want. Oops. I feel like that last little bit was not very straight. Okay, now, so this is the outside. So see how this is our original fold. So I'm going to flip everything over and get my bone folder. This first 1/4 inch mark is right there. So you just want to press and bone folder everything. And we'll just go around. Now I can tell working with these file folders, both the craft ones and the vanilla ones were both, I got them from Amazon, like I said. They're both supposed to be heavyweight. But the craft ones definitely don't feel as heavy as the vanilla ones. And people use them for different things. Like they like the heavyweight ones, I guess when they're making books and things. Like there are so many things, cool things you can make with file folders. Okay, so here is our basic folio. And I'm going to try to slide this down so it gets in the camera so you can see this top bit. That's our flap that's going to come over. And then sliding it up, our side flaps, they're going to go that way. And then our bottom flap. All right, and see how we've all got, all the sides have this 1/4 inch. That's just so, you know, it makes a little box kind of, but so we can put stuff in it. All right, now the tapering. So some people don't want to taper these side flaps in, and that's okay. You don't have to if you don't want to. The problem is, so see how they line up here, you know, because that's the same like width. As you add stuff and you're using it more, these may slide up. They may slide around and then they'll get kind of jacked up. So just the tapering, it just makes it a little bit where these corners won't get all dinged up because they won't be there. So I like to do it. And what I do is I do measure it. Just, I could eyeball it, but sometimes I really do want something precise. So a 1/2 inch is what I like to go in. And I do make a mark because this is going to get covered up mostly anyway. And I'm using pen, but you could use pencil, whatever. All right, so another 1/2 inch, boop, right there. And I'm going to the very corner. Oh no, wait, I should have only gone to this corner. Nope. Great, Toni. Maybe you should check what you're doing first. It has been a while. No, yeah, I went to the very corner. As I suspected. All right, so very corner, where's my 1/2 inch mark? And I'm just doing it with a pen. You could do a pencil and then erase the bits, but I'm gonna go in and ink all these sides. And that's what takes some time too, is the inking. But I do want to do it because I want it to be a darker brown. Depending on your theme and your papers, this craft folder, you wouldn't have to ink it. It would be perfectly fine just as it is. All right, so a 1/2 inch here, boop, little line, and go all the way up to this corner. And then a 1/2 inch here. Those words are getting in my way. It's rainy here today in Maryland. That's, I can hear it outside. Okay, I think we're done with that for now. So let me cut these off. And one more. All right, now corners. Whether you round them or not is up to you. I did not round any of them because I like a straight corner. If I had rounded these edges, I would have wanted to round the designer series paper too. And then what do you do up here? I don't really like it when it's rounded on one side and not the other, and I would like it to match. So that's up to you. I'm not going to round any of these corners. I'm just going to leave them as this. So this is how it's going to go together, and then we're going to add some pockets. This is a part that's going to take me a few minutes because, like I said, I want this to be darker brown. Let me bring my first one in for you. This started out as a vanilla, as one of the cream colored ones, and I did all this inking, and it did take me a while. I was using an ink cube that was, one of the little square ones, and it really sucked up a lot of the ink. But I'm not going to sit here and blender brush or use a sponge or any of that. Actually, I need to reach my other scratch paper. Hold on. I'm going to use excuse me having to reach that. I'm going to use just my straight up ink pad, Early Espresso, and it is going to take some time to dry. So I have recently re-inked this. So this is like paint, and I'm just going to get the edges because I'm going to cover everything else up. And that is another thing you could use is paint. So if you have craft paint, any kind of acrylic, this I'm not going to worry about right now. So this comes in very handy, having this juicy ink pad. The only thing I'm really going to have to sit here with my heat dryer tool, my little mini hair dryer, and dry it. So I'm only doing the edges, like I said, because I'm going to be covering up most of this with designer paper. This is really wet, and can you tell, like, my ink pad is starting to get not as juicy. Oh, I forgot the middle parts on the other side. So it really is taking up a lot of this ink quickly. That happens a lot when you're stamping a lot, like a larger image, when you're doing a lot of them. It seems like your ink wants to, at least these top layers of ink want to disappear quickly. Alright, I'm almost done. But see how now it's like barely coming out? So once I reset this, close the ink pad up and put it back on in my holder, that ink will pool to the top again. Man, this is a workout. Hey, Linda. Hi, Penny. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I have to do these bits. Because I'm trying to get, we're going to see these corners, or these, what do you call these? The side pieces. All right, now it is a struggle to push everything down. And I may have to go back in, like, this is going to be good enough for now because I got to start drying it. It's making my hands crazy. But I may have to go back in when I'm finished everything, and maybe with a marker, like a brown Sharpie or whatever I can get to match, because I really want all these nooks and crannies filled up. All right, and I'm just pressing my ink pad. Now, if you have some of the older style ink pads that were linen, you would be able to just like brush back and forth your ink, but it's going to take a while. Okay. So we're going to cover this up, the middle. We're going to cover all these bits up. But for now, I have to get my heat tool and hit this up. And we're all finished with that. Look, can you see how shiny this is? Like, it really took all my ink. But that's okay. Okay, time out. You can really feel how much ink has soaked into this file folder. It's just, it feels so floppy and damp. And I really want to get most of this dried before I start trying to attach papers to it. Normally I would just let this sit overnight. Like, I wouldn't do it with the heat gun like this. Oh, oops, and I missed a spot. I'm gonna have to go back and get that later. I still see, like, spots that are shiny. I mean, there's so much ink there. I think this is going to be, it's going to be good enough. But really, if you're making one of these at home, I would let it sit overnight and dry. Because this, I mean, it's curled up a little. It just feels, you know how something feels, you know, a little damp. So that's what we've got going on here. So I do want, where did that, this space. Okay. I do want to hit this up. So when I cut my paper, I'm going to try to get as close to the edge as I can. But that's why I've inked up kind of like around here in case I miss some spots. All right, now I got to get the dryer again. So you can see where painting would probably be. It is a good option because you would just paint the whole thing, let it dry overnight. All right, let's go again with this. All right, I think that's good enough. So this is just funny. Who here was with me Thursday when I like burned my fingers with that gold embossing? I don't know if you can see, but this like black smudgy mark or gold smudgy mark, I haven't been able to get that off of there since Thursday. That's funny. I am going to change my nails today. But that's just a little something to make you giggle. It didn't hurt my fingernail per se. I'm just surprised that it's still, I mean, it really burnt it. Okay, so here's our book. This is gonna fold up like this. The next step you do is choose which papers you want, and we're gonna just start covering. So I'm gonna cover this entirely, this, and this will be our front cover. And then this cover. So on this one, on the back, I took a piece of cardstock and then like embossed it, but I may use just designer series paper, and I'm gonna actually try to add like another pocket here, which I didn't do on the other one. So we've really got 6 big spaces to cover, and then our flaps. So since you'll have a whole pack of the papers, you'll have plenty of options. I was originally going to do just a half a pack, but that would really only allow you to make one of these, because this is, if this was 6 inches wide, then that would be great, because then you could get 2 out of a pack, but it's not. It's like 6.5. Yep, 6.5. And I really like at most a 1/4 inch border. So let me see what 6 1/4. I'm going to take it down 3/16. So in all of these pieces, I think are different sizes. Let me first decide which papers I want, and then I will cut accordingly. Let's see. And keep in mind that we're going to have some pockets. So you're going to be covering like half of your area. I still want to cover the whole layer with the designer series paper, because I don't want to be able to peek inside that pocket and see like this. So I'm just going to cover everything. And I really like all of these. Ugh, it is hard to choose. Oh, I kind of like that one. I really like these foily ones. Like, I want one of the foil ones for the cover. Oh, and then we've got black foil. Okay, I think I'm going to use this for the outside cover. So for this piece right here. All right, so I'm going to set that off to the side. It's really, we have 6 different patterns. I can have a different pattern on every piece. You know what I mean? All right, and gold, I think this, I will use this gold worlds on this piece. So setting that off, and then something for the back that I want to make. So this will be here and this will be here. So I think this will be my middle outer layer. All right, so putting those off to the side. Now I'm going to use all the other 3 prints for the inside. So here, and then this other grid one. I do like these gold bits. Oh, I like that green too. So I can either have it like this, I think I'm going to go with this. Okay. Yeah, blue up top, the map in the middle, and this black grid. Okay, so let me layer these in order. This is what I do when I normally work. I pile up my papers in the order that I'm going to cut them in. So I'm going to start with this one, and then this. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. All right, and check time. We've got about 20 more minutes. Okay, so this top piece, get this out of the way. I want my designer paper to come, you know, I'm just going to measure this part, and this flap, that's not going to have anything on it. All right, so like I said, 6.5 by, looks by 6.5 by 4. I'm actually going to write this down because it's going to be the same measurement for this. So we'll say top flap 4 by 6.5, and then middle, because why should I measure these both times? 6.5 by 4 3/4. 4 3/4 by 6.5. That's really, let's say 5/8. The score lines really do take some of your real estate away. All right, and then the bottom flap, 6.5. Yep. And 4 1/4. So bottom 4 1/4 by 6.5. Now you may be wondering, why are these all different? 4, 4 5/8, 4 1/4. If they were all the same width, like, they wouldn't lay down nice. Like, you don't necessarily want it to go right to the edge, like all of them. See how this has just, comes down to the bottom. So that's good. All right, so let's cut our designer papers. Now I am not layering the designer paper on any cardstock first in this case. I'm going to use my cardstock to make pockets and other little bits. All right, so our top flap, 4 by 6.5, I'm going to go down 3/16 of an inch. So 6.5 is here. Now I'm going to have to guess. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to guess at that 16th. And then the other measurement was 4. And I want it to go down 3/16. So each one of these lines is a 16th. All right. Let me just bring this back in. So looks like I need to trim it just a hair off this. It sucks that I can't see this area right here. Six and a half, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The trial and errors of measuring. Let me double check this. All right, so this maybe was actually 3 15/16, and you will be able to see. So I'm going to cut this down 3 another 16. It's going to be easier when you're measuring yours at home for sure. All right, that looks like it's going to be good. Okay. You know what? Now that I think of this, I should go just 1/8 of an inch, not the 3/16, because that's going to be a pain in the butt. 6.5. Let's take this down 1/8, and then the 4. Let's see if I like this better. Okay, I like that better. It's taking up more of the space. I do want one more 16th. All right. So all these other scraps I'm going to save mostly for tomorrow when we start making tags and pockets and things. So I'm going to put this in a pile here. And I'm just going to check one more time. Yep. All right, now for attaching this, I'm going to use glue because with this ink still being so wet, the liquid glue is really a super strong adhesive. Otherwise, you could use like sticky strip or fast fuse, or you want something super strong. All right, and I like to get this, you can wiggle it around a little bit. This is gonna be good. All right. All right, so making our middle piece, 6.5 by 4 5/8. Man, this still is so floppy from all the ink. That's why I am glad I'm doing this in 2 days, because this is really going to dry overnight. All right, 6.5. And then I want to cut down 1/8. So 6.5, 1/8. And then our other measurement was 4 5/8 minus an eighth makes it 4.5 for our layer. Okay. And this little strip I'm not going to bother saving, but this piece, yes. All right, so this is our middle layer. Perfect. And if I was really paying attention, I should have picked like a part of the map that was something like here, Washington, Baltimore. That's where I am. But we get what we get. All right, glue, glue, glue. Smear that right in there. All right, centered-ish. And then press this down. It's crazy like how different and cool this starts to look as it comes together with the designer paper. Like once we start adding things, it really, you see how neat it really is. I know the base of it is just kind of like, oh, boo, boring. All right, our bottom flap, 6.5 by 4 1/4. And actually, I'm going to cut the 4 1/4 part first. So 4 1/4, and then we're taking an eighth off. So it's 4 1/8. And then 6.5 minus another eighth is that one. And I did that. I cut the 4 1/4 part off first because I always just think I want to have, if I can have a 6-inch piece of something, I just like to, because I never know what I'm going to use that for. All right, now let's come in here and nice. I may have to take a little teeny bit more. So this was 4 1/4, and I cut it down to 4 1/8. I'm going to take 1/16. Okay, that's better. Man, this green side is good too, but I like that. I like the gold bits, the foil. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I had to make this the cutoff date quick since this is on the retired list. Like the papers could go any day, and the little corners and slide bobbles. But I did order 2 extra packs of this paper on my last order. Like when I first noticed it went on sale, I was like, "Ooh, I better get at least 2." Okay. Little glue smushing out. All right. Ugh. Now for the back, and hopefully I will have time to do the sides as well. I mean the flaps. And then that'll be it for today. And then when I come back tomorrow, we'll do some pockets, and I'm really only going to do like pockets and some tags because I mean the front, that will be your choice how you want to doll it up. All right, so let's see. this blue, I think, was going to be on the back, right? No, the blue was going to be here on this flap. Now direction, if your pattern has a direction, like, let me just look at this one. So this flap, you know, when you open it, you see it this way. So you want your pattern, your words to like go in the right direction. But when you're, you know, flipping it upside down to work with, to glue it on, you just have to keep that in mind. Like, which way am I gluing it? So this is our top piece. I had these in order and then I forgot. So I think that's what I ended up with, right? Middle. Yeah, I want this to be the back. All right, let's just do that one. So our back layer should be the same as the middle, 4 5/8 by 6 1/2. So 6 1/2. That is a little bit more, a titch more than 4 5/8. But that will be fine. So 4 5/8, and again, I'm going to cut that layer first, the 4 5/8. Oh, now I see. This is the side that Gail used last night. I knew I loved those papers for a reason. All right, 4 5/8. Let's cut that down to 4 1/2. And then 6 1/2 minus 1/8. Okay, that is perfect. This one I'm actually going to leave for just a minute because remember I wanted to make that another pocket and I am going to have to get some extra paper for that. So let's go. The top flap was 4 by 6 1/2. And I want it, is there any pattern in here that I care about that I can read? Austria. Maybe I'll go there. Oh, I have to refresh my video. It just cut out on me. But I know we're still live. Whoops, here we go. Okay, that was weird. And now my finger doesn't work. Okay, so what do we say? 4 by 6 1/2. I'm just going to cut it off the top because none of this matters. 4 minus 1/8. And then 6 1/2 minus 1/8. And I'll set that off. All right, so it's going together like this. So I want this top part to glue on this way, so the direction matters. So let me unfold that, and I will glue this on. Oof, that bumblebee. Tell you, I really like the new in colors that we're having, but these ones that we still have, the bumblebee and the cinnamon cider, I really like those too. Those are more, you know, warmer colors. Just press this down. See, I like this. Oh, yeah, I am loving this, loving this. So you can use a label maker or something to doll up this tab here. This is just so cool. All right, and now I'll cut this one. So our bottom flap was 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. 4 1/4. This really doesn't matter what direction. All right, well, these words are going this way, so I'm going to cut the 4 1/4 this way. So 4 1/4 minus 1/8, so 4 1/8, and 6 1/2 minus 1/8. That's right there. All right, and then this. Yes, I like the blue here also because then it ties in with the blue there when you open it. Nice. Okay, so let's flop all this open. And do I want it this way? I think I want it this way because there's more of that gold. Because I know I'm going to put a pocket down here. So yeah, I want to have most of that gold showing. Let's put that in place. Yeah, this isn't really a super quick project, but I really like it. I love making all these little like mini books. And when I found out about these heavy duty file folders, of course, you know, I had to buy a box of 100 in each color because that was the best value. And now we got to use them up. Okay. Man, still so floppy. Okay, this, I really like this. Yep. And the fact that you can see some of this blue picking out, I don't care. I should have used this black. That probably would have looked better. But that just means I'm going to have to tie in some of the Misty Moonlight and Cinnamon Cider for whatever I put on the front bits. Okay, now, so back to this back part. I wanted to make another like pocket. So I'm going to actually take, I'm going to trim this down some more and then add a cardstock layer. And then I'm just going to attach to the base here on 3 sides so that we can still slide something in there. All right, so let's go to our cardstock pile. Now, even though this is a cinnamon cider base, I mean, not cinnamon cider, this is early espresso that I inked this up with. I want my pocket, I think I want it, do I want it black or espresso? Let's see which looks better. With the espresso, let me scroll up. Oh, whoops, I scrolled up completely. I think I'm gonna go with the black because I think this is like a blackish kind of gray. I don't know what that background is. All right, so we'll do this piece and I'll show you one of the flaps. I just don't want to keep you longer than an hour. Plus, I have to get ready for work. All right, so back to this one. Let me cut this black exactly the same as I cut this piece. So 4.5. And then we've got 6.5 minus an 1/8. All right, and now I just have to trim this down. Now, this whole area where I can't really see, I'm just gonna have to eyeball, trying to get an 1/8 off of that side. And 4.5 minus an 1/8. So let me hold this up. I need to go a smidge more. I mean, I know this arm has to be there because that's the whole point, that it's attached and we need it. But it gets in the way when I'm trying to measure stuff. All right, that's good. So these cardstock bits I'm putting back in my pile because we will need those. All right, now I'm going to glue, make sure this is facing the right direction. Gluing this designer paper to my black cardstock. And wiggle this around a little bit. Oh, now one more thing before, hey Tracy, before I forget, ooh, this glue's smushing out. So I did get my catalogs last week on Friday. So for those of you that I'm going to mail them to, I am going to get those out probably this weekend. I know I'm going to take a trip over to Silver Spring and take some to a bunch of girls over there. I got to get this glue off of here. That's really bothering me. But the rest, I'm either going to mail them or drop them off to you. And I will be in touch about that. Okay. Glue all over my hands. Oh, this is what's sticking. I can't have that because I need that tomorrow. All right. I love these glue erasers. Oh, all right. So now, since I want this to be a pocket on the back, I've seen it where they'll make side pockets, so you can slip something in, you know, from the side, or a top. Let's make this one a side one. That'll be interesting. Okay. So for this, I'm just going to use the sticky strip that I still have some of this left. I think you could use glue too. I just don't know how much the glue would squish around. So I'm going to go up to the very edge and on the edge down here. And I'm putting this tape as close as I can. And I still have glue on my finger, so that's a treat. All right. Now, the question is, do I put a little hole there? I think so. Where's my hole punch? So I keep this 1-inch hole punch handy, and that is going the right direction. So I'm just going to eyeball and punch it. Just because you want to be able to see, you know, that there's a little something in there that you can pull out. And I can tell now I didn't get it quite in the middle. Good enough. All right, let's pick this tape off. And once I get this on, I will show you how to deal with one of these flaps. Or you know what, I can just wait till tomorrow to do that because it really reinforces it if you can see it more than one time. Let's get this in the trash and make sure I'm going the right direction. Unfold all this because the sticky strip is not as forgiving as the liquid glue. Okay. Neat. So then, yeah, you just make something that fits in here. And then have, you know, like attach something like ribbon or something so that, you know, you can pull that out. All right, cool. Actually, yeah, I want to wait till tomorrow to do the flaps anyway because these are still like overrun with ink. So this is all we're doing today. We've got our base cut. We cut our file folder. We inked it all over the parts that we're going to see, front and back. I did that with Early Espresso. And then we did all our scoring and cutting our designer series papers. So when we come back tomorrow, this will be all dry. And I'm going to show you, we're going to cover these flaps, both sides. And then I'm going to show you how to make some pockets. I'm probably going to put a pocket here and here and one here. And there's two different ways we're going to do pockets. Then I'm going to do probably like a belly band here. And I think that will be it. And then I may do some decorating of the front. I really don't think I'm going to have time. So I think it's just we're going to get through the base of the book because that's all I really want to show you is how to make this thing. And then I'll have to finish my front in the next day or two. But I think that'll be good for tomorrow. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for being here for day 1 of April's file folder folio class, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.